How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So it's Monday again, and so now it's time to do our weekly haul. This time I'm going to do it a little differently. This was kind of suggested by a commenter, and they kind of said they would like to see more of the comics. So normally what I do is I take about 10 to 15 and maybe 10 of them I really showcase them, and it's usually I pick them out based off of, maybe I have a cool story about them, or I've never showed it before, or I'm excited to have it. It's not really based on value per se, but this time I'm gonna do things a little differently. Instead of just taking out 10 to 15 and then like going more in depth on them, and also I do little graphics to show you what I think the grade is and how much I think it's worth. I'm just going to show you all the ones that I think are like the ones I cherry picked. So normally, like I said before in other videos, I send about 300 books a month to CGC. So this right here is just 1 week's worth of stuff that I've gotten in. I get more than this, but this is like the good stuff. Like, for example, I got a complete set of ROM 1 through 75, but only like 5 of them I'm probably going to send to CGC. And so they're in here. The rest of them, or I got like a complete set of Spawn, but none of them were worth sending. So I get more stuff, but this is the stuff that I think is worth sending. So instead of cherry picking ones and showcasing them on a weekly haul, I'm just going to show you everything. So that you're going to see tons of the same book, duplicates and stuff. That's why I don't like doing it. But I figured this is kind of cool to see basically everything I got in for the week. And once I get 4 weeks worth, then I send them off to CGC. So yeah, let me know what you think. Okay, so here we go. We got a Hulk 181. 6.5, missing the value stamp. And most of these are just going to be my case stuff first. We got a Super Mario Brothers Special Edition, 9.6. Got ourselves Legend of Zelda, 9.6. Showcase 60. Daredevil 168, 9.4. Now this is Kanto. This is number 1. This is kind of like I guess a spec book. I picked up a few of these. Apparently it's been optioned. This is the variant cover. So that's it for my case books I got this week. Now in for... Alright, these are going to be in no real order. I didn't go through them. X-Men 129. Spider-Man 49. Variant cover. Spider-Man 361. Got an Iron Man first full War Machine. I always like that cover. It's kind of cool. X-Men 266 first Gambit. First Submariner. Got a high grade Strange Tales 169. Oh, sorry, that was 172. This is 169. Then I got a Death in the Family. Another Batman Death in the Family. This is 426. So this is the first U.S. agent, John Walker. Marvel Premiere 28. This is the first... oh god, now I'm blanking on the name. What is it? The first Legion of Monsters. Yeah, I don't know. Action 252. First Supergirl. Turtles number 1. This is third printing. First appearance of Grendel and primer number 2. This first Winter Soldier. It's Captain America 6. It's not the variant cover. Higher grade Forever People number 1. Darth Vader 3. First Deadpool. New Mutants 98. Another Turtles one. This is third printing. Like I said, these are in no particular order. They're in a box on their way to CGC, or what I got in this week, and then I put them with. I collect once a week. I collect all these, put them all together, and then I do that for 4 weeks, and then I send them to CGC. So this is 1 week's worth of what I got in. Raphael number 1. First Thunderbolts. Okay, now I have to move these so I can make room for more. Captain Marvel Adventures is the first appearance of Mr. Mind. First Mario Brothers comic book. Usagi Yumbo number 1. It's pretty high grade. Wolverine 1 limited series. This book has been going up like crazy. It's weird. I'll like check it and it's just like, oh, all of a sudden it's worth, I used, it goes from 100 to 150. Now it's like 300. First appearance of Miss Marvel, the second Miss Marvel. First appearance of Rocksteady and Bebop. It's an old EC comic book. I think it's the first appearance of Sif. It's a pretty high grade copy of first appearance of Falcon. This book's so funny. This Deadpool hitting Wolverine. I've seen this book a bunch of times. I never realized that was Deadpool. I don't know. I just kind of like glanced past it and never even noticed it. There's actually 2 editions of this. This one is the deluxe edition. You see right there, it says deluxe. That one's actually the worst. You want the non-deluxe. Iron Man and Submariner. Kanto number 2. Kanto number 1. And IDW, the studio, that's where Kevin Eastman works, is actually like 5 minutes from here, from where I live. It's in San Diego. Silver Surfer. Daredevil. This is one of the first early works of John Romita on Spider-Man. First appearance of Reverse Flash or Professor Zoom. This is crooked. There we go. So this one's interesting. This Hulk 181 was printed without, it's hard to tell, but it's printed without the red ink. Now you can tell because down, say here, it's supposed to say Wolverine and some other random words. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're not there because the red ink never got printed. And that's why it has like this yellowish tinge, because the way they do it is they usually do one ink spread at a time. So they'll do like maybe all the blacks, and then they do all the blues, and then all the greens, all the reds, all the yellows. So the reds didn't get printed on that one. Sergeant Fury. Eva Ernie number 1. All right. Let's move these these around. So again, this is all just 1 week's worth of. Now, this is not everything I get. I have like tons and tons of other books that I get in, but these are the ones that I cherry picked out that are like the best that I should send to CGC to get graded. But yeah, this is just 1 week's worth. X-Men 100. Like normally I'll just cherry pick ones that I think are cool or I could talk about a little longer, and ones I haven't showcased before, and I'll pick out like 10, 15, and I'll show you. This one's just like, I'm just going to show you pretty much everything I got in for the week. First U.S. Agents. Another Wolverine. Now, this is the first appearance, I believe, of Darkhold. I think it's the book that was in WandaVision. I don't know for certain, but this book's been going up a little bit. But yeah, so I have a couple of those. Silver Surfer 1. First John Romita Spider-Man. Doctor Strange 169, which is technically his first issue on his own series. ROM annual. Now I got a bunch of ROMs here. I got basically a complete set, but I just took out the ones that are worth sending. Interesting story about ROM is we used to have a guy when I was younger, because like I said, my dad was a dealer back in the 80s and 90s, and we had a guy who he wanted to make some money before he went to college. He was 18, he wanted to save up money, so he came and lived with us, and he worked for my dad, and he was supposed to save up money. So rent was free because he's like a family friend. Rent was free and all this kind of stuff, and so he lived in like kind of like we had this attic above the shop where my dad worked, and he's supposed to save up money. He worked for us, I want to say like either 9 months or a year. And he was really into comics, so he's super excited to like work with comics. He ended up just every week would go down to the local comic shop and buy comics. And ROM was one of his favorites. And by the end of the year, he goes back to his parents and he's just as broke as what he left. And they're like, well, what'd you do with all your money that you worked the whole time? And he's like, to save for college. He spent it on comic books. It was funny. Yeah, so I got a bunch of these. I have the whole set, but they're not worth. A lot of them aren't worth grading. ROM number 1. Pass 467, first him, which is the Warlock. A very low grade, terrible copy of Spider-Man 1, but it's complete, so it's cool. Whoa, almost knocked it off. Spider-Man first Venom cover. Got 2 of them. Last one is the newsstand. Batman 251, cool cover. This is another deluxe version of this one. The last issue of Vampirella, magazine size. Here is a non-deluxe issue. Let's see, I can see right here. So yeah, like I said, you want to look up here. You can see the little deluxe. And this one, there's no deluxe. Oops. Superman race. Detective 19. Oops. First Poison Ivy. Now, the thing about this one is you want to make sure it has the poster in the inside. The centerfold is technically like a pinup poster. A lot of times they're missing. A lot of times. First Uncle Scrooge #1. His first appearance was, I think, 4-color 179. First Surrey, which will probably be the new Black Panther. Star Wars #1. First Miles Morales. Another Usagi. This one is a Justice League #3, but it has a variant. It has a logo that's a little different. So yeah. So it's a little more rare. All right. First Ocean Master. Second appearance of Usagi. Newsstand of First Carnage. So like you see, I'm getting like a lot of the same things over and over and over and over. This kind of happens. This book is actually really, really cool. I've never seen it before. It's Eminem and Punisher. This was actually, I got this from a guy who worked at with Eminem, and he said, oh, there goes someone's car. So this one's pretty cool. I got this from a guy who worked with Eminem, and they would give this out, and he took a copy for himself, and he sold it. Raphael #1. Controversial issue. Lois Lane becomes a black reporter. First Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. Punisher's first full issue of himself. X-Men 134. Oops. It's the origin of Storm. X-Men 45. Another Miles Morales. Another Cowboy Bebop. This is a newsstand variant. First Black Adam since the Golden Age. X-Men 49. I think it's first Polaris. It's nice. X-Men 4. First Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Alright. Last deck. We're in the home stretch. First appearance of Novak. Another Shuri. First full Venom. Third Wolverine. Another Uncle Scrooge. Tomb of Dracula. An old Adventure Comics. Got a couple high-grade Black Panthers. It's number 2. Number 1. Another Winter Soldier. First, Mr. Sinister. Oh, my mic kind of slipped. First, Brother Voodoo. Another first U.S. agent. Another Batman Death in the Family by Mike Mignola. He's the guy that does Hellboy. Nick Fury, number 1. I'm trying to... First, Shang-Chi. Another Raphael. Yeah, like I just get multiple copies of the same thing over and over and over. But yeah, part of the thing, part of the job. This is not, this is the, see, it's like the origin copy. So this came out later, and you can tell because down here, oops, aside, down here at the bottom, it has no UPC code. So it's not as expensive. It's the special origins issue. Another U.S. agent. Another U.S. agent. Another one. I always like this kind of like where they did this like border thing, and each comic had that. Was kind of cool. Yeah, and then ended with a Venom cover. So yeah, like I said, this is kind of like what I get in for a week. Obviously, there's stuff that I don't think is worth sending, and so I have a bunch of that. Like I got a, like that ROM set. I got a set of Spawn, like almost a full set. A bunch of it wasn't worth sending though. And I get a bunch of other random stuff, just random things that come in and go that is not worth sending. So this is kind of like what's worth sending for the week, or what I think is. Hopefully they come back the grades that I want. Yeah, so this was kind of suggested by a commenter. And so I'm trying to do something a little different. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff, if you'd rather me do it like this. I prefer to do it the other way, how I do my normal hauls, where I pick out like 10 or 15 books and I showcase, and then I can also do a graphic where I show what I think the grade is going to be, how much I think it is. I kind of like that stuff. It takes longer. There's no way I could do a graphic for each one of these. It would take forever. And that way, when I pick a few, I kind of get to showcase what, like some cool things, or maybe I have some stories about certain ones. So let me know what you think. All right, thanks.